These are the 5 most common problems: getting dropped in bunches or on climbs. I get a lot of people coming to me that say they're getting dropped in bunches or on climbs or in races. They're training hard and not seeing any improvement. I get quite a few people with those issues. They're putting in the time on the bike, but they don't seem to be getting any better. Sometimes I get people come to me with a loss of drive or focus or confidence. Not having enough time to train, that's a real big one. And I get a lot of people coming onto my coaching programs. In fact, I really specialize and have been working with people that have full lives. You've got family, work commitments. And the last one is having training interrupted with illness or injury. So if you're unsure of what to do or where to go to sort these ones out, then this is the place to be, because I'm going to be covering off all of this. Talk a little bit about myself very briefly. Then I'm going to cover off the 7 common reasons for poor result. And then I'll be talking about addressing the 5 top things before you even start your training. And if you don't get these 5 things sorted out, then you're really setting yourself up to fail. So that's why we address them up front. Then I'll talk about how we resolve a lot of these problems with our training structure and programs. And then I'll be talking about how we can support you further in our members area and how that all works. Just a little bit about me and our company, Cycling Inform. I started riding in 1980 and I started racing in 1981, and I've raced at state and national level here in Australia. I've been coaching since 2007, and I've successfully coached hundreds of cyclists at local, state, national and world level. Mainly masters athletes. I've coached some world champions. I've had people medal at local, state, national and world. So we've been very successful at the high end, and we do a lot of work with the Charter Mason NRS. It's a National Road Series racing teams. So a lot of this information that you're getting is really coming from that high end, and we've distilled it down to club level racing cyclists and recreational riders. So stuff that we're doing right at the high end, you get access to. So we're the largest cycle coaching company in Australia, and we work with Bicycle Network and Audax and Seven Peaks, providing training material. So you may have actually found out about us through Bicycle Network, Audax or Seven Peaks. Look, our coaching methodology is based around providing support and balance, ensuring that your training is sustainable, that it's balanced into your work and life and family commitments. And obviously I'm an accredited Cycling Australia cycling coach. I trained with Cycling Australia through the AIS development program, and every couple of years I spend time with the national coaches. So these are the 7 most popular things I've seen people get wrong with their training when they're doing the same training but expecting different results. You're going there riding, you may be riding hard, you may be getting in some good hours on the bike, you may be riding with your mates socially in the weekend and smashing each other over and going out during the week and doing the same thing. You may be doing some indoor training sessions, you may be just rolling around on the road, doing your own thing. That if you're doing the same thing and you're expecting different results, then it's just not going to happen. So if you want to see a change, if you want to see an improvement in your training, you need to try something different. So if currently what you're doing is not working, then obviously you need to try something else, because obviously what you're currently doing isn't achieving the results for you. And we'll cover that off a little bit later on in this session as well. So the next big one is incorrect match between training and outcome. For people, they pick up training programs off the internet, or they do their own thing, or they read an article in a magazine and it gives them some, training tips, or they read some research somewhere on the internet, or research that's been covered off in an article in a magazine from some research that's been published in some sports science thing. And they start applying that to their training, and without any thought around the background around that particular training technique. So it's really important to understand that just because something works in one particular area doesn't mean that it's the holy grail to resolve all your training issues. So what I'm talking about here is that your training must match the outcome that you're wanting to achieve. So for example, the training that we provide to people doing criterium racing is a lot different to what we give to people that are training for road racing. And that's a lot different to people that are training for time trials. And this is all different to what we do for people that are riding for recreational events. And then when we get up into the really big recreational events, there's a big difference between the training that we do for people that are doing recreational events that last 2 or 3 hours and people that are training for recreational events that last for 13 hours, like the Peaks Challenge Falls Creek. That just because somebody's getting success in their training in some areas, and you may have some cycling friends that said, oh, look, I tried this and it worked really well for me. It may not necessarily work for you. So it's really important to understand that the training that you're doing must actually match your outcome.